Hey everybody, how you doing? Chad Wesley Smith, Juggernaut Training Systems here with Zach, Even Esh.
I look so skinny next to you, dude. It's bad.
Everyone's head looks small next to mine. So. We are here at Soranex Summer Strong in South Carolina. Awesome event if you ever get the chance to check it out. So this is a very cool interview for me to do because I was telling Zach, as I really started to get into strength and conditioning, that it was he along with Joe DeFranco who were really the first guys that I was reading all their stuff. So this is somewhat of an honor.
When you said that, I was like, man, dude, I feel like old. I feel real old.
And so Zach has his specialties. He does underground strength gym up there in Edison, New Jersey.
Yeah, we're one in Edison, and the other one's like considered Jersey Shore. That's the second one that we opened up.
And I know you have like 75 different websites, but what's
try to narrow it down. Yeah,
the
main website would be undergroundstrength.tv. That's like the blog. That's kind of like the hub for everything.
All right. So, one of the things that Zach does are these underground strength coach certifications, and really advising people on how to open their own gym, because Zach took yours. Well, tell them your story kind of from there.
Sure. So the whole kind of business, I guess, started when I lived with my parents and had my second knee surgery, had ACL, and that was like I got on this mission really to just work with wrestlers. I said I'm gonna just like save the world of wrestling, strength and conditioning. So started training wrestlers out of their garage, and garage was extremely small, one-car garage, very low ceiling. Like there's one kid, he's like 6'4", and he would do deadlifts. He would like have to poke his head forward so it wouldn't hit the garage. But started there, and at my parents' house, the equipment was coming off of I can't even think, like eBay was out at the time. It was all newspaper classifieds. So Chad was he was in middle school back then. It was a long time ago. And just acquired some basic stuff, a barbell.
I was in elementary school.
You were in elementary school back then. Got a barbell, got they called it a gun rack. It was just an upright squat rack. And used the stones out of my parents' backyard. They had like all these stones kind of lining the backyard, and then local playgrounds. So we started there, and then when I got engaged, the first, we bought a house, and every time we were like house shopping, the only thing I was looking for was a two-car garage. Like I didn't care where the heck it was. So we got a house, and the house was literally fixer-upper. It was, dude, crap side. They couldn't move in there for a year.
Oh.
But the first thing we fixed was the garage. And as soon as that garage got sheetrocked, started bringing equipment in, all used stuff. eBay was like new at the time, and I picked up equipment from a Gold's Gym that had moved locations, and a guy was storing it in his barn. And that was actually like one of my first motivations to be in a barn. So in a nutshell, I went from parents' house to a two-car garage, which there again, we trained out of the garage, we trained out of my backyard. We had tree logs in the backyard from a tree that we had to cut down, the climbing rope, and then I would take them out to the local elementary school, which was like right down the road. So I would break up these workouts, and the more I trained guys, the more it like became a system. Like, here's what these new guys are gonna do. They're going to progress through this, like block or this phase of training. And then I would get them to an intermediate phase. And I basically looked at like an end goal, like here's what the exercise I wanted to do. And I worked backwards to build up kind of like a timeline of what I wanted them to do. But I always went with a small, I was a teacher, so it was like start in the garage, then start out of the house. And when I transitioned into the first gym in Edison, which is like 45 minutes from New York City, the rent at the time I think was like $1,500. So I remember I'm not going to rent that space until my income of clients is double that. Yep. Whereas like today, you and I were talking. You had a real big facility. The place that we're in now is monstrous. Yeah. It's huge, and I always, I don't know like where I got that like pride from, but I knew who I wanted to work with. I wanted to work with wrestlers. I didn't want to train adults. Not that there's anything wrong with that. My mission was to help weak wrestlers turn them into just like ass kickers, period. So I didn't want to be in a position where I would get this place and have to train everybody. And what's funny is when I was gonna move into the garage, into the warehouse, people were like, start training everybody. Now that you have this spot, you have to train adults. Like they were like training everybody and their grandmother. And I did that for the first month. Like we opened up an adult program, and it just like in my heart was not me. It was not me. And that first month, like our momentum built really quickly. And the good thing why it built quickly is because I wasn't like open a garage door, hey, I have a gym, come train with me. We had like 20-something kids out of the house, and we were forced to. We were like forced to get out of there, you know, and it was illegal. I wasn't really allowed to be running a gym out of my house. So I was training athletes, and then at the end of the night, I would do this one group training adults. And after the first month, we started getting real busy with the athletes. And I told those adults, I said, I hate to say this, I was like, but our time slots are all getting filled up by athletes. And I said, at the end of, we're going to finish this month, and I'm not going to be able to continue training this like adult class. But I referred them to a friend of mine, and he was a great coach, so you know it worked out. But as soon as I zoned in on who I wanted to work with, it kind of stuck to my heart. That is always what works, whether I do it in the gym setting or on the computer. I don't like try to pretend, basically be something or somebody I'm not. So that was the big thing with the gym. So you know, you and I were talking. If I gave somebody advice who's watching, you're like, you know, a lot of guys like us, we love to lift, we love to train, and I know that's how a lot of people are watching, and they say to themselves, I'd love to quit my job and just train people. And my advice is start so small. If you could find a 500 square foot spot where all you can get in there is one squat rack and some barbells, and then you do all your other stuff outside, even if you live in like a cold weather state, then that's where you start. You start super small, so your overhead's low, and so you're not in a position where you're like, you know what, I have to train everybody to cover my rent, and then at the end of the day, you're just not going to be happy with yourself. You just, you know, it'll like, people like us are so passionate about training that if you like tweak that passion a little bit, it messes your game up.
Yeah. So, you know, Zach was talking about how his passion was really training